So when Hannibal, can you hear me? Okay, Hannibal rode ahead and at a point of vantage would afforded a prospect of a vast extent of country down there. He gave the order to halt, pointing to Italy far below and to the Po Valley beyond the foothills of the Alps. My men, he said, you are at this moment passing the protective barriers of Italy. Nay more, you are walking over the very walls of Rome. Henceforward, all will be easy going. No more hills to climb. After a fight or two, we will have the capital of Italy, the citadel of Rome, in the hollow of our hands. Little did they know what a problem they had trying to get down from the Col de Clapier. And they got stuck for the elephants and were told by Polybius that the soldiers had to go down, cut down some trees and build a huge fire around this rock that blocked the way. So it got hot. Then they poured what he said was wine, but it was probably well melted snow. So because of the heat, the liquid would go in the cracks and would split the rocks so that they could get the elephants past this particular obstruction to the descent. And so eventually they managed to get down to Susa at the bottom. And it was at Susa we had this incredible reception for Jumbo where probably about 3,000 people were all crowding the streets welcoming Jumbo down there. And we felt that we had to keep a schedule because if we were delayed, there they were waiting for us a day or two. So we were sort of under the control of the schedule of publicity rather than, well, Hannibal just went whenever he had to. So that was our experience. But Susa is the first town that Hannibal came to in Italy. He then went on to win 4 great battles. The final one was the Battle of Cannae, where he had 45,000 troops and the Romans had 60,000. So he was a smaller army, but he managed to completely surround the Roman troops and he decimated it so that only a few cavalry ever escaped. And it's probably the greatest defeat that Rome had ever had. It was a cry, whenever Rome became in danger, the cry from the Senate was, Hannibal is on the attack. It was the warning cry for centuries for Rome to be aware when the Goths came down. So they never forgot that great defeat. The question then is, why didn't Hannibal capture Rome? And when we came over, we were down in Rome and they were making a movie about Hannibal. Victor Mature was Hannibal, and the story of the movie was that Hannibal fell in love with a Roman maiden, and that's why he never captured Rome. But that's what fiction has it. But it's an interesting history because Hannibal was in Italy for 17 years, and he had some of the tribes up in the north in his favor because they didn't like Rome. But eventually he had to leave Italy. He was never defeated there, but he went back to Carthage on the north coast of Africa, his home city, to defend it at the Battle of Zama. And that was his one and only defeat. Otherwise, he always was victorious. He had all sorts of clever ideas to outwit the enemy. So he was a very ingenious man. So that's the story of Hannibal, and this pass, we believe, was the one he took. There is a southern pass that the BBC promoted, but we have lots of good arguments to say that it didn't fit at all, and that this is the one. But if you want to do it one day, David was thinking of sources and comparing them to Bolivia's. So I'm glad we're here. We're making